Greetings from the Freedom Industrial Complex. I'm your formerly incarcerated host of this Notes from the Pen podcast, Bobby C. And many of you have been following with me for a long time. If you haven't, quick catch up. After losing my insurance and getting ripped off all my SSRI depression medicines, I spiraled. My brain was just a total mess, and I tried to kill myself in a drunken haze and unintentionally killed my favorite person on the planet, the mother of my child, and just the most amazing human being. Anyways, I went to prison for 12 years. I'd never been in trouble before, which is an extreme sentence, considering all the mitigating circumstances, right? They knew about the medical withdrawal stuff, the losing insurance. They knew that I sought every avenue of help I could get leading up to that. And, obviously they knew my history. And more than that, though, as far as court sentencing goes, I took a plea bargain. I pled guilty, not because I was trying to make a deal, but because I didn't want to put anyone through a trial. And it was true that, I was in there I was charged with involuntary manslaughter, and that's what it was. I unintentionally killed somebody. Most people, for those of you that don't know, in the criminal justice system, plead guilty to get a lesser charge. I never did that, which I probably should have done something, because these prosecutors and judges play it like a poker game, just bluff, and at the last minute ask for a deal. I was trying to live with integrity the moment all this tragic stuff happened, so I could, in the hopes that the criminal justice system would work with me. I got the max sentence, but not only that, after I had gotten to prison, I quickly learned that after being declared indigent, which means you don't have money for a lawyer, they appoint you a public defender for free. Now, when I landed in prison, I got a $6,000+ bill for my public defender, which makes absolutely no sense. So I was really adamant about not paying that, or not having to pay it, how unfair it is. My parole agent said she'd never heard that before. In prison, no one ever understood that, because once you're declared indigent, the state takes the fucking fee up for you because you don't have the money to hire a lawyer. So I got out about 6 months ago. While I was in prison, I created a successful podcast. I befriended Doug Stanhope, who co-hosted like 30 episodes with me. I became a award-winning writer, a published author, an artist as well. I have this merch and gear. I'm into streetwear and graffiti, and this is all original paintings that I made on the inside, where I had to cut up a prison shirt to make a canvas. That's what this is. It's the most exclusive, the best quality black label art that I've done. My point is, I was being productive, doing everything you could to rehabilitate yourself and to do the right thing. Well, I've been out for about 6 months, and I'm about to transfer my parole to Vegas. And suddenly, I get a call from my parole agent, who's amazing, last night, and says, "Hey, you have a warrant out for your arrest." And I said, "For what?" "For failure to pay fines and court costs and shit like that." And so I was confused because I'd never got any warning or anything. Now, this might mess up my transfer and all this stuff, but also, why should I have a warrant? I was never warned or anything. Well, it turns out that they sent the warning for, in my opinion, illegitimate fine or payment. They're just squeezing me for money that I can't afford to pay right now. And they said, "You never responded, you didn't show up for your hearing." And it turns out they sent the letter multiple times to the address I had before I was in prison, even though MDOC knows, my parole agent knows exactly where I live. So when I didn't respond to it because I didn't get it, they issued a bench warrant for me. And this is in the midst of me traveling, like I said. So I freak out. What the hell is going on? What do I have to do? And my parole agent suggests I call the collection agency. I call them, and they said, "Okay, it's going to take $300 to lift this fine, or to lift the warrant." I don't have that kind of money. I mean, I do, but it's not money I can be spending. So I spend the money. I get the warrant lifted. It should be lifted by 5 p.m. because I have plans. I have to go to Grand Rapids for some art stuff and to meet up with some people to promote some stuff to try to start making some money. And so I pay the $300, and then they tell me, "You owe $9,000 still." And I said, "Well, what does that mean?" They said, "How much can you pay?" And I said, "Well, what's it going to cost?" They said, "Well, you have 18 months left on parole. If we divide the $9,000 by that, you'll owe about $525 a month. Now, if I don't pay that, I get another warrant and I can go back to prison. This is the system we're dealing with. I want you to know this." And being entirely disheartened and frustrated, but not surprised, because this is the way the system works. You have levels of freedom, and I took them for granted before I came to prison. And so the first one is bodily freedom, the freedom to move where you want, do what you want, be who you want, be what you want, who to talk to, who to be around, all that stuff. That's the first level. I've obviously surpassed that. I've been released from that. And then there's another psychological and the trauma that sticks with you. But there's an underrepresented in mass media or in the news or anything that they also own you financially. And you basically owe reparations to a state that or a system that incarcerated you and ruined all of your opportunities to get high-paying jobs or decent-paying jobs or even to find work. And this is what happened in the last week before I got this warrant out of nowhere. I was yanked off food assistance, so no money for that. I was getting a couple $100 a month for that. I will be yanked off Medicare as well, and now I'm being told that I have to pay all this money or they're going to extend my parole indefinitely if I don't pay it. Now, I might have enough just to pay that off, but I would have no money to live, no money to buy a car. I spent $3,000 getting my license back. I'm trying to do everything the right way, and every time I do, I'm punished for it, and it's unsustainable. If I imagine the people who get out who don't have a support system like I do, what they have to go through, right? So now here I am with basically the state saying you have to pay all these things and take care of responsibilities, and you also need to figure out how to have enough money to live, to buy a car, to do all these other things, and it's just not possible right now. So they create this catch-22 for convicts getting out of prison who are doing everything they can to do things the right way, and then at the same time, they throw their hands up and say, well, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. Well, I can't do that. Well, that's your problem. You're going back to jail or you're going back to prison, which will cost the taxpayers about $40,000 per inmate per year, which is coming out of your tax dollars that could be going to health care and rebuilding roads and children's homes and all those things that the government should actually be spending money on, not wars to go to Iran or whatever it is for these forever wars that they swore they weren't going to do. Instead, I'm now left to choose between being homeless and paying my fines, or having a roof over my head and going back to prison because of my warrants that will arise. I don't have enough to do both. I don't have enough money to do both. I'm going to start a GoFundMe, and it sucks. You guys shouldn't have to do this, but I'm asking for your help because I don't know any other way. And if you followed, you've already probably done a lot, given a lot, but I'm going to start a GoFundMe. I'll put a link in here at some point. If you can help at all, either keep your money will go, and I'm going to put the actual paperwork up for my fines and what's owed to know that that's where the money would go to. So I either have to be homeless out of prison or be in prison with, having paid off my fines, or having not paid off my fines, or being back in prison, because those are my options. Pay the fines off out here. You don't go to prison, but you're broke and homeless. Be homeless, pay off the fines, and then you're free out here. And none of those are good options, which would be a little acceptable if they didn't expect you or look down on you if you wind up back in prison because you can't pay the fines. Or if you can pay the fines and you're homeless, that's illegal too. You have to be housed. And so I'm just caught in this place, and when I get really exasperated with the system, I usually like to tell the story because that's the one benefit that can come out of it. And hopefully you guys understand what's going on. If you've been following me for a while, it sucks that it's come to this, but I really have no other choice but to start another GoFundMe. I'd like to work something out where I could repay people in some way, whether it's through my artwork or clothing line and that I'm trying to do and all these other things. So I just wanted to get on here and give you guys a catch up of what's going on. We haven't created the GoFundMe yet. I'm going to today, and I'm sorry, you guys should not be on the hook for this, but I just don't know what else to do. I'm doing everything the right way, everything by the books, no drugs, no nothing, going to doctors, getting mental health addressed, which they've been fighting me on, lost food stamps and all these other things, and any food assistance and housing assistance, all that stuff. And now I have to try to move my parole to Vegas, which won't solve the problem, but it's going to cost money for me to go there. You know, it's the untenable situation I'm in now, living wise and all that stuff. So this is getting long. I know it. I'll have to edit it down, but yeah, stay tuned. Hopefully by the time I post this, I'll have a Patreon link somewhere. And if you can afford to help, please do, because I will continue to do the right thing to keep speaking up for the incarcerated population, some 2 million of my brothers and sisters locked up in America right now, and to expose this flawed system, almost evil system, or at least malicious system, while I have the chance. And I'm uniquely positioned to do it, but I can't do it from inside a prison as well, and I can't do it if I'm homeless either. So if you have a couple bucks, please help me out. And at some time, I know I'll be able to repay you, whether it's getting into my shows or art or whatever it is. Anyways, I've done enough. I said enough. I'm just out here venting. You guys are my therapy. I love you. On behalf of myself, Mama C, and the Notes from the Pen podcast, we love you. We are gone. Visit us on Patreon if you want already. That way you can help right now. Or I have this brand new, super exclusive, high quality, Supreme edition print of my streetwear. It's available. It's the only sweatshirt available in the How to Jail Aesthetic Mixtape Volume 1. It's on blacklabelart.shop, so if you can afford that. And it's legit. This isn't charity. This isn't some mock-up. This is high-quality streetwear. The Black Label logo right here. Anyways, thank you for your time. We love you. Thank you for your support. We love you even more. And we are gone. Together, we'll get through this.